Welcome to BBC School Report.
Hello, I'm Dan.
And I'm Annalise.
Today's headlines are:
Domestic abuse failure.
World War II codebreaker dies aged 93.
New research suggests that goats are intelligent.
Climate change is poisoning the ocean.
Mark Zuckerberg buys Oculus VR.
Middlesbrough Sports Village to include £1 million velodrome.
Domestic abuse failure. England and Wales poor attainment to domestic abuse. It is now exposed that England and Wales police force are not reacting to domestic abuse cases as well as other places such as Durham. Inspectorates have concluded that only 8 out of 43 forces respond well to domestic violence in England and Wales. A report that was published today explores poor visible police leadership, poor victim care and defiance in the collection of necessary evidence. In the time of 2013 and 2012, 269,000 domestic abuse-related crimes were reported, including 77 women who were killed by their partners or previous partners in this time period. Earlier today, unknown to civilization, a woman expressed her distress on the radio. She said, "I called police because my boyfriend had broken into my apartment and was threatening me. He later attacked me before the police had arrived and left me with bruises on my arm. When the policeman arrived, he was not sensitive and appeared to be unconcerned with the event. I was distraught, but he didn't show any remorse towards me. Without taking a statement, he left my apartment, slammed the door behind him. I was confused and felt unsafe."
World War II codebreaker Jerry Roberts dies aged 93. Raymond Jerry Roberts joined Bletchley Park in Buckinghamshire as a German linguist. The target was to crack the system called tuning. Tuning carried messages of Hitler's top generals. This system had 4 times as many encryption wheels as the Enigma machine code. This was what carried military communications. Captain Roberts earned an MBE. The team was credited with helping shorten the war by at least 2 years.
Today we are discussing health and wellbeing issues with the nurse. How do you think we can raise awareness of mental health in schools?
That's a really good question, because I think that's something that, again, we're looking very closely at the moment. I think, talking about mental health issues more is always a good thing. There can be a lot of stigma around mental health, can't they? And I think sort of embedding those discussions somehow into the curriculum, into the classroom, can help break down some of those barriers. I think having an understanding of the different types of mental health issues, particularly that young people can encounter, is always a good thing. So I think when you're looking at raising awareness of mental health issues, I think it's just talking about it more, breaking down those barriers, getting things out into the open and discussing it openly.
How can schools do their bit to support students?
I think you've got some good systems in this school, because I think you've got student buddy systems, student mentor systems that work really well for students that may need an additional bit of support for a period of time. There's some good support systems built into the staffing structure of the school, so there's key people that you can go to for support and advice if you feel like you're struggling. But I think it's also often the best support comes from peers, doesn't it? From other students. So I think that student mentor support is a really valuable initiative to have in your school.
How big of a problem is mental health in schools?
It's a significant problem, and if you look at you guys are all looking at the news reports, aren't you, today? I don't know have you found anything already on young people and mental health, because it is commonly in the news at the moment, and there's a raised awareness really about particularly mental health issues that young people are encountering, and the kinds of services that are there for young people who encounter those kinds of issues. There is lots of specialist services, but sometimes young people don't always know that those services are there. So as a school nurse, I'm concerned with, being able to identify those issues early and signpost young people onto the specialist services that they need to get the help quickly. I think alcohol and drugs isn't the key factor as well. We know that alcohol and drugs is quite a significant factor in worsening sort of mental health issues. And so I think for me as a school nurse, whatever we can do to spread the message that it's just making those connections between alcohol and drugs and potential mental health issues that might occur from using those things.
Recently, scientists from the Queen Mary University of London have discovered that animals are more intelligent than originally thought. New scientific investigations show that animals now have long-term memories and are able to solve difficult tasks. Go to an important part of the experiment. Investigations are studying how quickly they can get to their food by pulling and lifting a lever.
After 10 months, researchers were proud to say that goats were able to access their food in 2 minutes. The speed at which the goats completed the task at 10 months compared to how long it took them to learn indicates excellent long-term memory, scientist Elodine Briefer said. This research shows that in the wild, goats have the ability to survive, to hunt for their food. How fantastic is that for the world of the survival of the species? Unity City Academy has recently launched a subject, computer science. Here are students' opinions on the subject.
Hello, today we are joined by Ryan and Courtney.
We will be interviewing them about computer science.
How long have you been studying computer science?
Just under 2 years.
Have you found it hard or easy?
It has been quite a difficult subject, but at the end of it does seem quite rewarding.
What topics have you covered in computer science?
Things such as arrays, IP addresses, HTML and code and a few more things.
Will you use any of the skills you've learnt in the future?
Hopefully, yeah. It would be a shame if I didn't. If I ever get the chance to work with computers, I think it would benefit me quite a lot.
Have you enjoyed computer science?
I have. It's just whether you're interested in it, which is some people are.
Do you think all students should learn to code?
I do, but I don't. I mean, I do because it's a great skill to learn, but I don't because it's a profession, and then it'd become less rewardable. Because if everyone's doing it, then more jobs will be getting taken up for the people who actually work for it. If you know what I mean. So then, because there's some jobs, say for instance, if you want to be a pilot, you're not going to need to know how to code a computer. Or if you want to be a health and social care worker in a hospital, nurse or something like that, you don't need to know how to code a computer. So, yes and no.
Thank you for your time.
An alarming glimpse into the future of our oceans. Increasing carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere are making the seawater more acidic.
Our oceans are in danger due to carbon dioxide emitted from volcanoes, with the bubbles dissolving into the water and forming carbonic acid. Our oceans are changing more rapidly because of us than it would on its own for tens, maybe hundreds of millions of years.
Only tough old border corals can survive in these conditions. The beautiful corals which inhabit a clean reef simply can't cope. The small young fish can't cope either, because of the corals inhabit their food.
Lead scientist Katharina Fabricus said, "There will be winners and losers as ocean acidity increases. Seaweed and seagrass are in the thriving under higher CO2 levels, but many species lose out. We are very concerned because the baby corals find it difficult to survive in much high CO2. Stories are unable to repair themselves. It's very, very serious." Now over to Cassidy with the weather.
Today is another chilly day, though less so than Wednesday in eastern England. The brightest and driest weather will again be in the northwest. Scattered and heavy showers elsewhere, possibly thundery in places with a risk of hail. Here in Middlesbrough, bright spells at first, but scattered occasionally, heavy showers will develop and a risk of hail and thunder. Becoming drier during the evening, chilly with risks of easterly winds. Tonight it will be mainly dry for a time, but generally cloudy and misty. Occasional rains in southern areas.
A £1 million velodrome has been confirmed as a feature of Middlesbrough's new £18 million sports village. The centre will house the 250 metres Olympic length velodrome and will include a 400 metres athletics track, tennis courts and a gym. Mayor Ray Allen said the village will be an iconic sports destination.
Recently, a group of students met up with Carlos, our careers advisor.
I'm Charlie, this is Chloe, and we're going to talk to Carlos about jobs, careers. What do you do?
My role is to be the school's careers advisor for Unity City Academy. I'm not employed by the school, I'm employed by Middlesbrough Council and I work for the Integrated Youth Support Service.
What do you advise for the younger year groups? Should they be thinking about college, and what year should they be thinking about it in?
I think it's good for them to start thinking about it as early as possible. Even for some year 5s and 6 students in primary school, it's never too late to start thinking about what you'd like to do in the future, because then that makes you think about why school's important. Great things happen in school. One of the main reasons is for people to better themselves and get the most they can out of life, and that can often mean is choosing the right job or the right career. Personally, I think that the interview shouldn't start in year 7, but and professionally I feel that the school, any school in the UK, should have a careers curriculum which the schools should be working to, which the government say that it doesn't have to happen, but they say it should happen. So I think that students in year 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 should have access to some type of careers education, and that should happen in all of the lessons.
What are your thoughts on the job demands in the North East?
Job demand in the North East. I'd like there to be more jobs than there are in the North East, but I'd like to say that for any area, because we are in a recession at the moment, which means that there's people who are unemployed, there's people with less life chances and job opportunities. But saying that, there are very good and quite a lot of job opportunities in the North East. It's just that at the moment there's some people that haven't got the skills to go for the jobs. So for instance, there are specialist jobs in some forms of engineering, especially renewable energy, which is things that don't start off with a spark or a bang. So it's using wind, it's using light, it's using wind farms, it's using the tide. But at the moment in the North East we haven't got the skills for the people who are unemployed to go for those jobs. So companies in the North East are having to go abroad.
What makes you do the job that you do?
Good question. I like working with people, especially young people, and I like to see young people over a few years get to where they want to be. I kind of buzz off that. I like to be able to answer young people's questions that they've got, and to try and be part of their life to help them get to where they want to be. Think of it as a road, going to a journey from here to Redcar, let's just say. So if we're going to go for a lemon top in Redcar, I want to help you get there. You might not know the route, so I'll help you with the route. You might not know what transport to take. I'll support you in buying a train ticket. So my role is to help young people get to where they want to be, and I love that. I think it's great.
Do you have any advice for us?
Yeah, I'll ask you both a question. Chloe, if you could do any job in the world, what would it be? What would be your dream job?
A job that involved medical things to help other people.
Got you. Okay. You were looking to your left there, up here, which means that you don't exactly know what that is. So therefore you could do with a little bit more information about the type of things that are there and what type of different jobs. But the career that you want, you like a career that involves helping people to help themselves. So if you wanted to, I can get you some information on that.
I think it would probably be space.
Space?
Yeah, astronaut.
Superb. And so you'd like to become an astronaut? Yeah? Superb. And when do you want to become an astronaut? At what part of your life?
Not too late, so probably about when I'm 30.
Okay. Again, you're looking to your left.
Yeah.
So you don't exactly know, so therefore you could do some information from me as well around becoming an astronaut, because a lot of astronauts need life experience, and they've experienced different roles, usually around science, technology, engineering and maths, which is STEM subjects. Yeah. So you both want information?
Yeah.
You'll get it. Superb. Any
Thank
questions?
you.
Thank you
no.
very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy that.
Thank you.
Now over to our Year 9 reporters who spoke with the Year 10 students earlier.
Today we are joined by 3 Year 10 students and we're going to interview them about a Raspberry Pi in Middlesbrough College. The school received 20 Raspberry Pis. The school gave you one. Was it hard working with a Raspberry Pi?
No, they weren't too difficult to use.
What did you do with a Raspberry Pi?
I looked at Python and did some coding.
What do you think of the Raspberry Pi?
I think it's a good little machine.
We've been attending a computer science course at Middlesbrough College on a Tuesday night. What have you been learning there?
First 2 sessions we did programming and processing, which is a language based on Java, I think.
What have you learned in computer science so far?
I've learned a lot of things. Firstly, how to code using Python, and after school at Middlesbrough College I've been learning how to use JavaScript and processing, and recently I learned how AR codes work.
Have you enjoyed your computer science lessons?
Yes, a lot of fun.
Should all students learn to code?
It's
Yes.
debatable, but I think it would help.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your time.
And that was me, Annalise.
And me, Declan.
And this was BBC School News Report.